Born on September 5, 1888 in Thiruttani, Radhakrishnan grew up to become an exemplary teacher who always strove to bring the best out of his students. Such was his clarity and comprehensiveness as a teacher that students of other colleges used to attend his philosophy classes during his years at the Madras Presidency College, the Mysore University and the Calcutta University. Later, when Radhakrishnan became the second president of India, some of his fans and students met him to request his permission to commemorate his birthday with a celebration. He replied by saying, "Instead of celebrating my birthday separately, it would be my proud privilege if September 5th is celebrated as Teachers' Day." Decades later, his legacy continues to play a pivotal role in inspiring teachers across India to contribute to nation building. After completing his school education, Radhakrishnan's father wanted him to become a priest at a temple rather than study further. However, he worked hard to win a scholarship from the Madras Christian College that enabled him to pursue his BA and graduate with first-class honors in 1906. While he was initially interested in the physical sciences for his master's, he chose philosophy as he got free textbooks from a cousin who had just graduated in the subject. However, he quickly grew to love the subject and even wrote several books on the subject. The year was 1921 and Radhakrishnan was attending a farewell ceremony organized for him by the students of Maharaja College, Mysore. When he came out after the ceremony, his students requested him to board a decorated horse cart. Interestingly, the horses were absent from their positions. Though curious about the cart, Radhakrishnan complied with the students' wishes. After he sat inside, his students took the places of the horses and pulled the wagon all the way to the Mysore railway station to drop their beloved teacher. In 1920, Radhakrishnan was invited by the Vice-Chancellor of the Calcutta University to take up the post of Professor of Mental and Moral Science. He accepted, and it was during his tenure in Calcutta that he interacted closely with Tagore. Deeply impressed by the Nobel laureate's philosophy, he chose to base his first book on it. Later, he was invited to deliver the Upton Lectures at the Manchester College and the Haskell Lectures at Chicago. He also served as the Spalding Professor of Eastern Religions in the Oxford University for 3 years. During his time abroad, he would frequently use the platform to talk about India's quest for freedom from colonial rule. After his return to India, he went on to publish some of his finest works that include The Religion We Need, The Heart of Hindustan and The Future Civilization. Radhakrishnan was sent as India's second ambassador to Moscow at the height of the Cold War. In an eventful 3 years, Radhakrishnan managed to positively amplify India's relationship with the Soviet Union. In the 1940s and 50s, philosophers were widely admired in Russia. Impressed and intrigued by Radhakrishnan's credentials, Stalin finally agreed to meet him in January 1950. It should be noted Stalin had not received Radhakrishnan's predecessor even once. During the meeting, the ambassador patiently answered Stalin's many questions before suggesting that USSR take the initiative to end the Cold War. Stalin answered by saying that it takes 2 hands to clap and that there was another side responsible for the Cold War too. Radhakrishnan replied with a sentence that left Stalin at a loss for words. As a peace-loving country, the Soviet Union should withdraw its own hand as it takes 2 hands to clap. His tenure as an ambassador was also responsible for garnering Soviet support on Kashmir. This can be seen in the UN Security Council meeting in 1951, where USSR blasted USA and UK for meddling in Kashmir's internal affairs. In September 1957, Radhakrishnan was on a visit to China as India's vice president that included a meeting with Chairman Mao Zedong. On his arrival at Mao's residence, Radhakrishnan was received at the door by Mao himself. After shaking hands with the Mao, he patted the surprised leader on his cheek. Mao had never been subjected to such familiarity, but Radhakrishnan was quick to put him at ease by saying, "Mr. Chairman, don't be alarmed, I did the same to Stalin and the Pope." In the annals of Rashtrapati Bhavan, There are many anecdotes about the philosopher-president and his subtle sense of humor. One of the most famous among them goes as follows. When the King of Greece came on a state visit to India in 1962, Radhakrishnan welcomed him saying, "Your Majesty, you are the first king of Greece to come as our guest. Alexander came uninvited." When Radhakrishnan was appointed the President of India in 1962, Bertrand Russell welcomed the news by saying, "It is an honor to philosophy that Dr. Radhakrishnan should be President of India, and I, as a philosopher, take special pleasure in this." Plato aspired for philosophers to become kings, and it is a tribute to India that she should make a philosopher her president. His tenure as president saw some of the biggest challenges to India's integrity, the deaths of 2 prime ministers as well as 2 of independent India's wars. His sage counsel helped see India through those trying years. Also, every month, the simple and stoic leader would accept only Rs. 2,500 out of his presidential salary of Rs. 10,000 and donate the rest of the amount to the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. Between 1933 and 1937, Radhakrishnan was nominated for the Nobel Prize in Literature for 5 consecutive years. While he never won the Nobel Prize, he did win several prestigious awards and titles including Bharat Ratna in 1954, a knighthood from George V in 1931 and an honorary membership of the British Royal Order of Merit in 1963. He was also honored with the Templeton Prize in 1975, for promoting the notion of a universal reality of God that embraced love and wisdom for all people. Interestingly, the legend donated all the award money to Oxford University.